Hello, everyone. I'm Justin Ashby, and welcome to the Best Company Podcast, where we invite business professionals, owners and operators, and marketing experts as well. We talk to them about their business, how they're doing things differently, building their online credibility and trust with their customer service. So lots of things to cover today because we have Richard Hirsch here. We're very excited to have you. Thanks for being with us.
Happy to be here.
Awesome. So real quick, Richard, he has a 30-year plus career in marketing, sales, and business leadership, primarily in health and healthcare and media industries. Most prominently, Richard was part of the core senior management team for 3 separate health-related startups, and that's Atkins Nutritionals. I'm sure no one's ever heard of Atkins before. Health Club Media Network and Earned It, and all of which led to acquisition, which is a huge accomplishment. 3 for 3, very cool, Richard. And then prior to joining Unaliwear, which is where he is now as CMO of Connect America, where he is now as CMO, he was previously CMO of Connect America, the nation's largest PERS provider for both the D2C and B2B channels. While he was there, Richard also helped commercialize the company's entry into remote patient monitoring. So definitely a tech guru as well, not just marketing in a sense. I'm sure he understands and can wrap his head around product quite a bit. And then Richard received his MBA from Northwestern's Kellogg School and his BA from Brandeis University. And Richard will joke that it's been a while since he got that MBA, but I'm sure he's still I'm sure he's using some of the things he learned to this day. Isn't that right, Richard?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Very cool. Well, why don't I start you off with this? Tell us a little bit about, I kind of gave you a little bit of your background, but now you're at Unaliwear. Why don't you just walk us through kind of what you're doing now, how your role has changed? Kind of give us the Richard story real quick.
Yeah, sure. Thank you for the opportunity, Justin.
Yeah.
So Unaliwear is in what's basically the senior medical alert, personal medical alert space. When you said in my introduction, you used the word PERS, that's the acronym the industry uses for Personal Emergency Response Systems. What you probably know it as is the iPhone and can't get up system, because it's become a meme that everyone under 65 kind of chuckles about, and everyone over 65 kind of hides their face because it's really embarrassing, and yet it's very much true. So we are in the business of trying to keep people safe and protected and independent for as long as possible, out of assisted living, out of the hospital, alive, as well as being able to live the life that they want to live for as long as possible, and we're doing it in a very unique way in this industry because we're offering it as in a form factor, which is the only watch that has fall detection, since fall detection really drives the interest in this business. A watch that offers fall detection. So we have the most discreet platform, the most discreet device, wearable, that allows people to get the benefits of personal emergency response without having to wear something around their neck that they probably won't wear, and that if they do wear, they wear it grudgingly and many times embarrassingly.
Yeah, that's interesting because that's kind of been a trend to kind of abandon the old, like you mentioned, necklace or kind of that stereotypical I've fallen and I can't get up, and now it's, hey, let's integrate it into something where it's less recognizable. How did you and your team identify that trend? Was that some feedback you were getting from your audiences? Were they saying, hey, we're over the big obvious necklace thing? How did you come to that conclusion?
Well, so I really cannot take any credit for this. The founder, our founder, Jean Ann Booth, is an electrical engineer by training, so a very serious tech person and developer. And she had sold her last 2 companies to a few small companies called Apple and Texas Instruments, a few little startups. And so she was actually retired, and she was going to become a dive master because she loves scuba diving.
Oh, wow.
And at that point, her mom started to enter the age at which one of these devices was going to become essential. She was living alone. She was a little bit of a fall risk. There was, if something happened where no one was around, no one would know that. And so she wanted her mom to get one of these devices. And this is going back around 2013. And she researched the industry like any other daughter would research the industry for their mother. And she couldn't believe that the only thing that was out there were these very, very gaudy, large neck pendants or other kinds of really old technology offerings that really were not very user friendly. 2013 was still, the iPhone was at that point, I think 4 or 5 years old. Like there was an opportunity, and Fitbits were coming out. There were really opportunities to look at this industry differently, but the endemic players didn't really have a lot of incentive because they were happily selling the current technology to the audience that they had. And so she thought, hey, I'm an engineer, I'm a tech boss, right? I should be able to do this. I have investors, I have developers. And so she did something that no one else in the industry did, which is actually she ended up doing focus groups with lots of seniors around the country about what they actually wanted in one of these devices and one of these systems. And she used that while using her mom as kind of the quote unquote senior experience officer for this. And with her developers, her investors, and with her ability to source product, source parts, yeah, exactly. She was able to basically build the first watch that offered this same emergency response in a watch-based format, and that also had fall detection. And all of these features and benefits that this watch has are all incredibly senior friendly. So, from the watch actually tells time. Many companies out there say they sell watches, but it's just a wristband.
Sure, just a circle on the wrist. Yeah, right.
Exactly. And this has like large white on black lettering, so if people have macular degeneration or some amount of that, they can easily read what time it is. It's voice activated. You can wear it anywhere in the shower. You can wear it inside and outside. It's both Wi-Fi and cellular enabled, which no one else does. So there's a lot of things that were when you have an 80-plus-year-old woman as in terms of her mom, who's thinking about what is really critical for this to be adopted and embraced and appreciated by the senior community. That just didn't happen in the industry previously. And the reason why we know this is that there are now about 60 million people 65 and older in this country. And that number is growing, 5, 6, 7% a year. The generation is getting older. And of that audience, only about 7% actually have a medical alert device. So the penetration is really, really low. And what's interesting is that Forbes recently came out with research where they surveyed 2,000 people around the country who have a medical alert device. And 86% of them said that the device had either saved them from an actual emergency or from something that would have escalated to an emergency. Wow. So you have a device and a system that is relatively inexpensive that really helps keep people in their homes longer. And only 7% of the people are raising their hands and saying, I want one of those. And the people that have them don't generally wear them. So this industry is ripe for disruption because they're talking to themselves primarily by forcing a form factor on the audience that they have voted no 93% of the time. And for a device that really is life-changing in terms of life benefiting, it's shameful. And so this watch is really trying to set the tone of a different conversation with this audience in a way that says you don't have to be stigmatized, you don't have to feel ashamed, you don't have to feel like you're embarrassed because you want to be protected. You don't have to make that false choice. We don't force you to make that false choice. And that's why we're different and better. Yeah.
What has it been? So, Unaliwear, is it a direct to consumer brand, or do you kind of have some distribution through some of the? Because from what I understand, a lot of times maybe you reach a certain age and some of these old, products kind of just I feel like there's not really a choice being made. That's just kind of what's given to this demographic, right? So is it a direct-to-consumer brand where they're actually choosing, hey, I want this device? Is that how the brand currently operates?
95% of our business is direct to consumer
Wow.
through our website.
Yeah.
And so people are choosing us over the alternatives. There's another sidebar. In this industry, uh, the switching percentage, the percentage of time someone gets a particular brand
Yeah.
and then returns it for another brand. You can imagine, Justin, that's pretty low because this is not a comfortable, casual purchase. This is a purchase based upon either an event or based upon fear. And so it's generally wrapped around a lot of stress, either for the son or the daughter or the grandson or the granddaughter or the actual wearer. And so they want to kind of get in and out and be done. They made a decision, okay, I'm done with that. I checked that box, I'm done.
Yeah.
So the switching in this industry is about 5%. So 5% of the time someone will
Wow.
return one product and get something else. Very different than like candy bars or something of that nature, right? So very, very different.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, the point I was going to make is that about 35% of our customers are coming from competitive products. So we're 7 times higher in terms of switching because people are voting with their wallets and saying, I'm returning this product to get your product. And that gives us a lot of confidence, and also we're very appreciative of people choosing us, and it drives us to try to innovate further to make this even more sticky and embraceable product.
Richard, what does your customer acquisition look like? I mean, you mentioned online, and now that you said only 5% are switching, you're clearly capturing a large portion of that. If 35% of these purchases are coming from other products, what does that acquisition look like? Do you run paid ads? Is it a lot of kind of organic content marketing, or are you getting into certain publications? Like, walk us through a little bit of how you're doing customer acquisition at Unaliwear.
Yeah, sure. So we do a lot of digital. A lot of it's digital, and through which, when you think about the ways in which you drive traffic to your website, so we think about it in kind of a multi-level way, and it's not dissimilar probably to other companies as well. So you can get people in the top of the funnel, and then what do you do with them? So our focus is, okay, we use the top of the funnel, and we're using, various affiliate relationships, Facebook, Google, Bing, YouTube, and so our messaging around that is all focused around making sure people understand when they get to our site that we're the only medical alert watch with fall detection. That's our USP. That's what we're in the business for. And so once people get to us, our point is we then try to leverage and be very transparent with all the information that we have so that they feel like we're being very honest and transparent with them. So we have a really nice video they can watch. We have a brochure they can download without providing us any information at all. They just download it with one click. We have various information that helps them make a really, really informed decision. They can also fill out a lead form, and with that lead form, they would then get put into our email funnel. We have 6 emails that we do over the course of 2 weeks, telling people why they should be getting the Kanega Watch. But then after that, we just put them in our monthly email database. We don't over contact them. We don't harass them. And that's the rest of the industry is known for being much more aggressive in trying to make sure people buy. And we're much more about make a thoughtful purchase, and we hope you choose us. And that is really starting to earn a lot of dividends for us because we're acting in a much more respectful and transparent manner than other players in the space. Not that they're not good companies trying to do good things, they all are, but we set the business up so that our salespeople, our customer success and customer service people, nobody gets paid on commission. So no one is trying to hard sell anyone over the phone, which is why most of our business our sales actually run directly through our website. We don't do a lot of phone orders. Whereas our competitors, because everybody else out there has the exact same products, they want to close you on the phone. It's a bit of a boiler room mentality, and we are just the opposite. And so we get a lot of kudos from our customers because of that. One additional sidebar on that. When you fill out a lead form on our website, there's actually a box you can check which says, I'd like to speak to an actual wearer. Just think about that, right?
Oh, fascinating. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
so we have ambassadors
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
around the country that have Kanega watches that we don't pay them,
Yeah.
right? And they say, hey, if you have someone that's going through this journey, I went through this. I want to make it easier for the next person. I want to pay it forward. Have them call me. And of course, we set them up with a distinct phone number, so they're not calling that person's cell phone. Like we're keeping it, arm's length. But so they're able to talk to people without having to feel like they're having their privacy be invaded. But they're volunteering that. No one else in the industry does that. So you can talk to a 25-year-old salesperson who wants to get you sold on the phone right then and there and doesn't really want to take time with you. Or you can have an hour conversation with someone who has time to talk to you who actually has been wearing the product for 2 years. And that, I think, is another thing that separates us from our competition is we really want to build a community. And we're successfully, over the course of time, building this community of wearers and their families. And we're keeping them safe and protected in all the ways we possibly can.
Yeah. Yeah. What I think that leads me to kind of maybe a final question around the reputation that you guys are building. Obviously, you're utilizing Best Company as a place to build your reputation, and I think it's really interesting everything that you shared from your lead forms have a toggle to basically ask if they could talk to your customer service that you offer. You're not trying to be over salesy with everyone that's on the phone. So how have you tried to build your credibility with this customer base? Obviously, boomers or whatever, however you categorize this age demographic, they are a different, breed than your Gen Z and your millennials, how you kind of build credibility. What has that process been like to make sure that Unaliwear is both, there's brand recognition there, but also that trust is really, glued to that brand recognition?
I think there's a micro answer and a macro answer to that question, Justin. So I think the micro answer is just you do the work every day, and your mission is to try to keep people safe and protected, and you have a mission around that, a mission around transparency, and a mission around honesty. And if you make a mistake as a company, owning that mistake and taking care of the customer. And so on a micro basis, it's just the basic blocking and tackling every day. As an example, with Best Company, where a lot of our reviews now go through Best Company because of our great relationship with you all. Yeah. Not all of them are positive. Some people have problems and issues. We know that, but we respond to every one of those. So we get a lot of 5-star reviews on Best Company. If we get lower reviews, we don't just let them sit there. We respond to them inside Best Company's portal. And then we also reach out to them to see how we can be helpful. If there's something we can do to adjust that and to address their concerns, we're going to do it. And I can't tell you with our customer success team how surprised people are that we actually place a phone call and try to speak with them. And we get that a lot. We're a tech company, and you can talk to somebody at our company. That puts us probably in the top 5% of tech companies. Because think about all the issues you have with various companies, particularly tech companies, and how often you can actually reach a human being. And we think that is one of the most important things, for us. And then the other thing I think building credibility is that this is by far the most intense privacy generation in our country. They are really concerned about privacy. So we respect that on a lot of levels. One is we don't sell any of their data, so we don't have cross promotional relationships and you talk to us, the next thing you get flyers for walk-in tubs and other canes. We don't do that, right? So your information is our information, and we keep it completely safe. But then in addition to that, when you fill out a lead form, we ask if you'd like to give us your number because we're happy to call you if you want to speak to somebody, but we don't require it. Everyone else in this industry requires you to provide a phone number before they even give you any information because they want to put you in their system and basically call you every day. So on both the micro and macro level, we think about how we operate as a company in a way that is the most respectful to this audience. And over the course of time, if you do that every day day in and day out, and you think about everything through that filter, over the course of time, you get a lot of positive feedback from this audience. And because it's differentiating, not only in this industry, but in business overall, this is when they talk. And they tell other people about, what a great experience they had with us and how they can't believe that we did this or we did that without having to call 17 times. They called once and someone called them back. It sounds so simple, but it really is the differentiator in this industry and I think in business overall.
Yeah, that's a great answer. That makes a lot of sense. And, shout out to Unaliwear. I think you guys are doing 5-Star Fridays. Is that right? We've seen on some of your social media sharing some of your 5-star content, which is the whole point. You build your reputation on best company. Obviously, depending on your vertical, your industry and things like that, you may use other kind of spaces or platforms. We certainly love companies using both Google reviews and using Best Company as a review platform as well. But we love seeing you guys do the 5-Star Friday. I think that's a great kind of scalable, you can have some consistency there. It's great social media content. Get that in front of customers and potential customers as well. So
what's great about Best Company, great about Best Company, just lastly, is that I see when we post that, particularly on LinkedIn, I see a bunch of Best Company folks liking it and sharing it. So you guys, you eat your own dog food, so to speak. You live by your own principles, and I really respect that.
Yeah, no, we love, companies that get it and they're honestly building, not just building their reputation, because that could be kind of a hollow effort, but you're genuinely working on your customer success. I love that you said you're protecting your customer. You guys are honestly doing that. So Richard, the conversation's been fantastic, very interesting, your world and all these different health companies that you've helped grow, and now you're at Unaliwear really trying to change the game in wearables, especially for the older demographic that really needs it. I think you've shared some really
100%.
great feedback. So yeah, well, we appreciate the time, and obviously we'll keep Unaliwear in our in our thoughts as we continue to drive more, not just traffic, but just we continue to do more content with you guys. Very excited that you're utilizing the Best Company platform.
Awesome. Well, this has been a great conversation, Justin, and thank you for your time, and thank you for including me in these podcasts.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we'll see ya.